Ukraine in the United States since February 21, during the most difficult time of her country's modern history. She's been a staunch promoter, advocate. She's been absolutely everywhere during these past 3 years since the war started, and it hasn't been an easy job. She was appointed Ukraine's Minister of Finance in 2018. She served before that as a Deputy Finance Minister. She served also as a Government Commissioner for Investments, and she put her indelible mark on Ukraine's finances. She co-authored Ukraine's macroeconomic revival program, conducted unprecedented fiscal consolidation, leading to a deficit of to GDP of only 2%. That's way below the United States deficit, of course, and debt to GDP reduction to below 50%. And before this career in public service, she was working for 17 years in the private sector. And Minister Fotyga, Anna Fotyga served as Polish member of the European Parliament twice, between 2004 and 2005, and later 2014 and 2024. She served as Minister of Foreign Affairs of Poland in 26-27. She was member of the Polish Sejm, chief of the Chancellery of the President Lech Kaczynski, and member of the National Security Council. And most importantly, very importantly actually, in the 80s, she was working for Solidarność in Poland. She was a member, and then she was head of the International Office of Solidarność. Thank you very much. Welcome to our conference. I will turn to Ambassador Markarova first, and then we'll switch. Let me turn it. Here is the microphone.
From here or from the board?
No, from here. I'll do it.
Thank you so much for this introduction, and thank you for having me here. I would suggest all of us to follow Peter's advice, and for our event today to be both informative and thought-provoking, if not provoking, as he said. But look, 1,203 days at this phase of the war, because Russia attacked us in 2014. And this war has been ongoing for almost 11 years now. But for 1,203 days, Ukraine defends itself, defends its homes, its land, its sovereignty, its territorial integrity, its freedom from the brutal aggression. And it's very important to, I think, get the facts straight and be very clear about what is going on there. There is nothing we've done to provoke this. There is nothing we've done to start this war. Ukraine was never a threat to Russia, unless, of course, being independent and being successful and being European is a threat. And 1991 was the best year for us and for so many other, at least for 14 countries, which were captive nations before that, because we became independent and we got our chance to build our independent countries, make our own mistakes, of course, and we've made a number of them, but do what our people want to do on our land, choose our government and also change it on a regular basis, as Ukraine has done, and just try to build a better future for our country. And we all hoped, and I know it was not just a hope in Kyiv, but in so many capitals which were captive nations before 1991, that Russia would choose the same. But unfortunately, they have chosen a path of reconstructing the empire, which didn't work in the former Soviet Empire or Russian Empire, and it will not work as the Russian Federation Empire. But unfortunately, a lot of people are paying the ultimate price because of the empire's overreach and because they're trying to keep not only people in Russia from the freedoms that they deserve, but also keeping people outside in the other countries like Ukraine and killing on a daily basis. Now, nobody wants peace more than Ukraine. We'd rather grow food, raise children than fight and die on the battlefield or die in our homes after nightly attacks like we see every day now. But we don't have any other choice, and there is no other alternative for us than to defend our country. because there is no way Ukraine is returning under occupation. There is no way we want to all leave, like unfortunately people still live in Mariupol under occupation, when they have been tortured, raped, killed on a daily basis. There is no way we will leave our children, which were abducted by Russia and put into these re-education camps or speedy adoptions. And frankly, I want to emphasize, and that will be the thought-provoking part, that it's not just a challenge for Ukraine's policy. It's not just a challenge for Ukraine. It's not just Ukraine that suffers, although we suffer from the deadly attacks, of course, like no one else. But it's a challenge to all of us, because the very international rules that we thought are in place after the World War II, the fact that you cannot withdraw borders by force, the fact that you cannot attack independent, like your neighbor, the fact that you should not commit terrorist attacks, because this is what they are. When they bomb Kyiv, Odessa, Kharkiv, Kherson on a daily basis, these are terrorist attacks. It's a pure terrorism to send missiles or Shahid drones into peaceful cities and kill people in their homes or destroy hospitals or maternity wards, like 2 days ago in Odessa again. And it should be the question to all of us. If there is anything we can do about it, because Russia clearly cooperates very well with North Korea, with Hamas, with Iran. They clearly sell a lot to China and get a lot of spare parts from China, and they are helping all of them, Russia, to conduct their genocidal war against Ukraine. Now, are we, as countries who believe in the same values of freedom and democracy, are we capable together of putting the effort and helping Ukraine to defend ourselves? Again, it's nothing but defending ourselves from the aggression. And the last thought that I want to say is actually about Russia, and today is Russia Day. And I think the best thing we all can do on Russia Day is to say thank you to those who still fight for freedoms inside Russia. Unfortunately, there is not a lot of these people, and that's I personally expected more people to be there. But nevertheless, we have to praise the bravery of those who do fight, and people like Dasha Kozareva, who has been imprisoned for only putting a Taras Shevchenko quote on Taras Shevchenko monument in 2024 in St. Petersburg, and before that saying that it's actually very cynical to say something when St. Petersburg used to be the sister city of Mariupol, which was ruthlessly bombed and destroyed by, and she got the real term prison in Russia's prison just because she said what I think all normal people understand and see. And also all the captive nations still inside Russia. I mean, all the people who are denied the right to study their own language, or to celebrate their own culture, or to live the way they want to live in their own, and even more so, they are militarized and they are sent to die on the battlefield in Ukraine without choosing that war. Because as you know, the mobilization in Russia is not happening in Moscow or St. Petersburg. It primarily happens in all those areas which could use the money that I used to fight the war to actually improve lives for the people in those republics. So, we will continue defending ourselves. We will continue pushing for peace. We will continue negotiating in good faith, even though we are not the ones who started this war. We're grateful to all of our partners who help us do it. But if you are interested in Russia's future, and if you think about Russia's future, then the best thing Russia can do for its own future is to stop this genocidal war and focus on its own future. And because Russia's future is without occupying Ukraine. That's one thing that we are 100% sure, and that's something that Ukrainian men and women on the battlefield, but also Ukrainian mothers and Ukrainian teachers and Ukrainian medical professionals are saying and proven over and over again, even after the brutal attacks. So thank you very much, and have a great discussion, and hope that this discussion, the third in Washington and 16, if I'm not mistaken, forum that has been conducted, will bring us closer to peace, because this is what we all need in order to move forward in making our world safer, better, and more prosperous, not more dangerous. And Russian aggression has definitely made it more dangerous. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Oksana.